Thanks for checking out our video. Feel free to join our free weekly newsletter called Pop Culture Annotated, and also join our Discord server to talk with us and others that share your fandom in pop culture entertainment. Links in the description. Throughout the decades of Godzilla movies, TV shows, comics, and video games, we've seen multiple incarnations of King Ghidorah. However, the version that we're going to witness in 2019's Godzilla King of the Monsters may be the best one yet. Now, the history formed around the character has Ghidorah being the basis for certain mythological creatures like the Rainbow Serpent and the Hydra, among other mythological figures, which is really cool, and I actually really like that addition to the character's personal mythology. However, besides those historical and arguably mythological connections, what makes this version so great is how the creative team is actually approaching Ghidorah. So a big change for Ghidorah on the big screen is how he's used with a mocap CGI performance instead of a person simply being in a suit. And the mocap technology for Ghidorah is pretty unique, as each head was brought to life by a different performer, just reflecting how each head possesses its own independent thought at different levels. Because the central head is listed as the most intelligent head, while the left and right heads are dumber, to put it very simply. And the creative team, the director and visual effects supervisor for the film, even stated that they were inspired by cobras for Ghidorah's design. It was mentioned that the scales in Ghidorah's neck are sampled from yellow cobras just to really reinforce that inspiration. So for certain movements and behavior influences, that's what they went with, alongside of also relating Ghidorah and his three heads to a pack of wolves, which is also really interesting. And they even say in an interview that, they're really looking at how wolves hunt together to also kind of go about showing how would three different heads with three different personalities bound to one body hunt together. So it's just really interesting how they're approaching Ghidorah in this movie to really make him feel like a more unique creature and unique character versus simply just being your generic monster with just three heads. And besides the performance influences, this version also has a certain mystique to it that permeates throughout promotional material for the film, because even since the beginning of everything we knew about, Marnik and others have called Ghidorah frozen Antarctica Monster Zero. And it's also interesting to note that the location in Antarctica Ghidorah is found at is called the Wall of Serpents. So just to further kind of give the mystique to the character, build the legend of the character, and this along with cave paintings shows the battles between Godzilla and also other, creatures, just helps build Ghidorah even more and more to those not familiar with the previous versions of the character that we have received before. And the way the creative team is mirroring Godzilla with Ghidorah as well also deserves a lot of respect, and shows a lot of respect to each character, as basically Godzilla is described as the god of the monsters, a god of the titans. Also, his name kind of references that as well as Godzilla, and basically being seen as a more benevolent leader of the titans versus Ghidorah, who's described as like a three-headed devil and maleficent leader of the titans. Also, I find it interesting how while Godzilla swims throughout the oceans trying to maintain order, Ghidorah flies throughout the skies disrupting the world with chaos. And I mean that literally, considering the weather manipulation and the dangerous effects it has, as we've seen in the trailers, him flying seemingly in DC with just everything in ruins based on just how he's distorting weather patterns and things like that. And Godzilla also as well has angelic-like assistance from Mothra, while Ghidorah has fiery demon-like assistance by having Rodan on his side. So I just find those kind of contradictions, those kind of mirroring of each other, if you could put it that way, very interesting. And at the same time, I find a very interesting similarity to each other with how they use their respective energy beams to attack. For Godzilla, his dorsal plates glow as he prepares to release his atomic breath, while for Ghidorah, the throats in his three heads glow as he prepares to release his gravity beams. So just overall, I really feel like the MonsterVerse version, the iteration of Ghidorah that we're going to receive, will be quite the character, quite the spectacle if you will, especially being the second largest version of the character that we've ever received, with the first one being the anime Ghidorah, which I really just don't really want to talk about. But witnessing the potential final battle between these two alphas will definitely be a really exciting spectacle to see, hopefully a jaw-dropping moment as we get to see who will be crowned the King of the Monsters. But comment below your thoughts. What do you think about this version of Ghidorah? Are you excited about this version? Are you not excited about this version? I guess in a way this is kind of like a hype video for Ghidorah, if you will. But comment below, and we'll see you guys later.